Follow your bliss, live your best life, manifest your best desires. Now, all that's great if life is going well, for motivation creates momentum. But what if you're depressed? What if you're anxious? What if you're chronically ill or in chronic pain? Then what? Hello, my name's Jennifer Engel, and I'm a trauma and cancer survivor. And I've been writing in January about setting goals. And I've reached this point in my poems and in the month where I've been talking about the top 3 to 5 and how this can help us find our goals and maybe find some motivation. But as I was typing, I realized that the top 3 to 5 is more than just a one and done thing. Now, what I'm realizing is top 3 to 5 has actually 4 parts. So rather than continuing to do poems, I thought I'd do a quick video. What kind of came about, I wrote a book called Highest Possibility States, and that is where all my poems for the month have been coming from. And one of the tools and habits is to really think about your top 3 to 5. And when I wrote it again, I thought it was just a one and done thing. But as I continued to write this week, I saw it evolve a little bit more, and I found that there were 4 parts. In teaching, we have something called a fist to 5. If you are a 5, your life is going well, you really don't have any worries, you're not really depressed or anything like that, that's a 5. And you can probably follow your bliss and live your life and manifest things to come to you. But what if you're a 3? What if you're a 2? What if you're a 1? What if you're a 0? How do you find motivation? And if you have no motivation, where does the momentum come from? You know what I found that when life is a 5, it is easy to broaden your perspective, your point of view, to think about those really big dreams and the things that you want and desire. But the more you start going down into the 4, into the 3, into the 2, into the 1, into the 0, what I find really helps is just super narrowing down that focus. Because I think if you look at the big, larger picture, it can get way too overwhelming. So on the days when I had cancer and I couldn't get out of bed, I was angry, I was unmotivated, I was depressed. This is where the idea of the top 3 to 5 first came from. So part 1, if you are at 0 or you are at 1, the first top 3 to 5 is just to create a list of 3 to 5 things that you do every morning, no matter what. This is what I do every day. My top 3 to 5 in the morning is not very exciting. In fact, it's just going to be things that you probably should do. Number 1, get out of bed. And mine is to get out of bed, make the coffee, feed the cat, scoop the cat litter. That's about my 4. And then 5, I do actually, I have incorporated some time for personal reflection. So those things are not very big. You just write 3 to 5 things that you do every morning. And when I was severely depressed and when I was going through cancer and I couldn't really get out of bed, even if I could just do 1, at least if I could do 1 of my 3 to 5 and then I had to crawl back into the bed for the rest of the day, at least I had this knowledge that I did something rather than nothing. And that at least creates just a little spark of, if not motivation, satisfaction that I did something rather than nothing. So all you need is just a little spark of motivation. That's where the first top 3 to 5 come in. Write a list of 3 to 5 things you do every morning, no matter what. And more often than not, if you can at least just get your foot out of bed, more often than not, unless you are severely, ill and things like that, it will give you enough motivation to keep going through your top 3 to 5. So again, if you're at 0 to 1, just write down your top 3 to 5, and that's your goal. Your goal is, can I do 1 thing a day? Can I do 2 things a day? Can I do my 3 to 5 every day? And that's step 1. Once you're able to do that consistently, you move on to step 2. So, and this is where probably most of us are. We're probably, a 3, maybe a 4. And so you do your top 3 to 5 every day. But then the next thing you do is you do this. I actually create a list on my phone, which I'm using to record right now, so I can't show you, but maybe I'll take a snapshot and put it in the video here, of my top 3 to 5 things that I want to get done every day. Okay, now most of us have something called work, and so a lot of times you'll see things in there. Here are the 3 things I want to get done at work. Here's the 5 things I want to get done at work. Okay, step 1, your top 3 to 5 when you wake up in the morning. Step 2, your top 3 to 5 things that you do that you want to get done during the day. Then step 3 is what I call the top 3 to 5 things that you do before you go to bed every night. And this kind of trains your body to get ready for sleep. Now, if you are in either, you can do this no matter what stage you're in, if you're at a 0 or a 5. If you're at a 0 or 1 and you're lying in bed, you might actually have more time to do this than if you're at your 5, just to be honest. I call it reflect, okay? In our school, we call it the 1 word, but I find that that's not always enough to keep me motivated and to keep me focused. So the next thing that I want you to do is I want you to grab a piece of paper and I want you to just create like a simple little T-chart, okay? And on one side you do, you could say top 3 to 5, and then on the other side you can say, what is currently my top 3 to 5, okay? So kind of looks like this. So what you do is you jot down the top 3 to 5 things that you say is important to you. So for me, for lack of a better word, I'm going to call it faith or spirituality is number 1 important to me. Number 2 would be my health. Number 3 would be like family, friends. And then number 4, my work, because that's also kind of helps provide me with financial stability, but also I'm a teacher and I really do find some fulfillment in my work. So right now I would say those are my top 4, okay? So wrote that on that side. On the other side, what you're gonna do is you're gonna kind of like really look at your day and you're gonna say, okay, if these are the things that I say are important to me, what actually does consume my time, okay? And I'm actually, if I looked at my last schedule over the past couple months, the last thing that I don't have on here that was on the side was health. So that lets you know, okay, here's the things I say are important to me. Now what changes do I need to do in my schedule in order to match my time with what I say is important to me, okay? So again, just to recap, if you are at a 5, you can be, following your bliss, living your life, manifesting your desires. But if you're at a 0 or 1, you're going to really narrow that focus down to just your top 3 to 5 things that you do every day in the morning. Then if you're at like your 3 or something like that, you do your top 3 to 5 things every morning, and then you do your top 3 to 5 things that you wish you could get done that day. You can even create a schedule if that helps you as well. And then last, you would do your top 3 to 5 before you go to bed at night. And then the last thing that you can do, if you're at any of those, a 0 or a 5, is to really think about what are the top 3 to things that are important to you overall, that bigger picture. And you're going to write that on one side. And then on the other side, you're going to write down what you actually spend your time on. I hope that this has helped someone today so you can use your own tips, strategy, wisdom to first help yourself and then help those around you. Peace and blessings.